Kory, and today he's going to bring us another update to his Psy-frame deck that he's been working on.
Yeah, and after the huge lecture I got after making the last deck profile, I'm going to show you my side deck for this one. So, yeah, you're going to get 3 parts to this one. Lucky you guys, because my side deck sucks. Alright, so let's begin this whole thing. Alright, so first of all, for the level 1s, you want 3 Psy-Framegear Alpha and 3 Psy-Framegear Beta. Angry Battle Fader, that's pretty much it. And it's your search card. This is the only frickin' gear that does not negate. Although if it negated, I'm pretty sure this deck would go a lot further than it does. Negating a full-blown summon, oh my god, that'd be beautiful. Konami, if you're listening to this, errata this card to make it negate. Pretty much you use these guys just going to your level 7 synchros. It's pretty simple. These guys I love going into a Black Rose combo with that saves my field, clears out their field, and Black Rosing during your opponent's turn is always going to be a welcome thing. That was those guys. For the level 2s, 3 Delta, 3 Gamma. Everybody keeps playing the Gamma in every other deck. Pisses me off because if you guys keep playing it in your damn meta decks, it's gonna get banned for us rogue players who are actually playing a pure Psy-frame deck. That and I don't honestly see how well it works in other decks. Okay, you play a Terraforming, they're gonna negate it. You get a free Omega, alright, but now you're running a brick. You are literally running a brick in your deck that if you draw into, what are you gonna do? You got a normal vanilla monster in your hand, and okay, you still have your Gamma, but at the same time, you're still 1 card down. You have a dead card in your hand. Delta, I honestly believe is better than Gamma in most cases because it's any spell. Usually over 50% of someone's deck is spells, depending on how they run it. So Delta, in my opinion, comes in handy more often than Gamma. So glad Gamma got a reprint because now it's not skyrocketing in price, so other people can actually play this deck without spending too much money. Because you guys all know me, I absolutely love budget decks. And that's it for all the gears. For the rest of the monsters, you run the 2 driver. I have the 3rd one side decked along with the 3rd multi-threader, depending on how you want to play. You have to run driver. The entire deck is based around special summoning this guy to go into your synchros. You don't get a choice on what happens with this. You have to do it. And multi-threader, I've seen quite a few decks that just don't run multi-threader, but being able to Black Rose on your opponent's turn and save your field spell and possibly your trap as well is too helpful. Plus, if they decide they're going to just Dark Hole you while you actually have a field of Psy-frame monsters, okay. If they want to Torrential you, okay. This is going to stop them both. Torrential is something that happens in this format a lot more than it used to now because Torrential is unbanned. This card helps save that. And the last 2 monsters, 2 card D. You're not really playing on your turn anyways, so that +1 is helpful. Usually you want to set up your field spell before you play this and then just draw more resources, and like I said, it's a +1. It replaces itself, gives you an extra. Yeah, it's the end phase of your turn, but normally you're going to set everything else you have and just go. And onto the spells. 3 Psy-frame Circuit. Like with the last deck profile in Monarchs, the field spell is incredibly important in this deck. It's even more so in Psy-frames. The entire deck can barely even function without this card. You want to get this card on the field. You want to protect this card. Don't let this card die. Unless you have a way to bring it back. Which, you have Metaverse, so I guess you can kind of do some shenanigans, but save this card. Make it worthwhile. Next, 3 Pot of Dualities. Once again, you're not really playing during your turn, so not being able to special summon to your turn isn't the biggest hindrance. It does kind of go against the combo piece with Telekinetic Powerwell, but if you got plans to go in Telekinetic Powerwell, this is usually a better choice over Pot of Duality. It's hit or miss. This one's honestly a card I side out sometimes because sometimes you do want to go into stuff that helps you special summon more. I side this one out for more for other things. It is just a really good card. It helps you dig. And these guys helps you go into combos like your Scarlet, oh not your Scarlet, your head, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. It helps you go into Crystal Wing. It can really help you. Trust me, just run the cards. Alright, next, 2 Psychic Field Zone. When you don't get your field spell out and all your stuff's getting banished, this card comes in clutch for a free Omega. It can come out for pretty much, comes out for your Omegas. It comes out if you get hit with Winter Cherries. It can also make this card if they hit one of your Omegas. Send the Omega, you have a level 1 banished as well. Okay, this guy's now live. It's beautiful. It's the only reason I run him is because of this card and because Winter Cherries is a bitch. Next, 2 Foolish Burial Goods. You want to send your trap to the grave. It's free searches. You get it up with an Omega, there you go. You get 2 free searches. What's not to love about this card? It's really good in this damn deck. And then the last spell, E-Telly. The deck is more reactive. I had to throw some proactive plays in here. E-Telly is one of them, along with the frickin' Psychic Field Zones. Not Psychic Field Zone, but Telekinetic Power Well. You want to be able to do some form of plays on your turn. This is the way to do it. If you have a multi-threader in grave, you would play E-Telly, bring out a level 2, bring multi-threader back, synchro summon, and you get a free level 8. You can do a lot of crap with that. And then, of course, this is Psy-frames. You are playing 3 of the trap. It's your Searcher, it's your Banisher, it's beautiful. Honestly, probably the best archetypal trap card I've seen in almost any deck I've ever actually faced. It just works too well, and it banishes your opponent's cards face down. It's really hard to get monsters back from face down. Run 3. Next, you run 2 Metaverse. It's just, you search your field spell, you can set this, go with your combo, and then as Chainlink 3, after you negate something, activate this as Chainlink 3, get your field spell, your monster gets special summoned, field spell goes off, you get your free synchro. I run 2, you can side it down to 1, but you really want your field spell, so player preference. Next, 2 Drowning Mirror Force. Psy-frames. You're already playing off of a no monster field. Returning all your opponent's monsters back to the deck is too helpful. You just run the 2. Trust me, this card is way too helpful. And the last 2 traps I run is Psychic Overload. It helps you recur your resources, lets you draw 2 cards. It's a +1, and once again, you just recurred 3 of your psychics. You got 3 more negates back in your deck. At least one of those you're probably going to draw back into. Run 2, I do side this out sometimes, depending on the matchup, but... Alright, on to the extra deck. Psy-frames is one of the few decks that are left in Link format that can run nothing but synchros in the extra deck. And I've always been a huge fan of synchro summoning. I love it far too much, so being able to play a deck like this that allows me to do this makes me too happy. Anyways, Ancient Fairy Dragon. This card's really only in there so that you can gain 1,000 life points off it if you want to, get another field spell activated. And you've also got the effect of you bring this guy out, and then you get a special summon to level 1. So now you're going into Crystal Wing. He's a Crystal Wing enabler and life point gainer. Run him. You run your 2 Black Rose, because as I said, nuking your opponent's board on their turn is always fun. They finally summon that last monster they need for their combo pieces, then all of a sudden you're like, alright, Alpha. Go through your combo, Black Rose, there goes your field. I love this card too much. Tried running at 3, doesn't work. Tried running at 1, you need the nuke. Trust me, you're going to want the 2 nukes. So, run 2. 1 Psychic Life Transfer. I used to have Clearwing Synchro Dragon in here, but being able to do this off of Telekinetic, not Telekinetic Power Well, but frickin', 1 second. Psychic Field Zone. It gives you extra life points, it can banish your stuff, so you got plays with Psychic Field Zone again if you happen to draw into the second one. And it's got a nice 2,000 booty, so it's not the hardest to attack over, but it can be a decent wall at times. Next, 2 Zetas. This one pretty much lets you return any Psy-frame monster from your graveyard and himself. The Psy-frame, they go back to your hand. So that's when he's in grave. which you can synchro up with him to make Crystal Wing, which means you still got to negate just in case they manage to take you down. I will usually go into him off of Beta, to be honest, because having this out, spec it out, 2500, they special summon something else out, and you can just get rid of it. If it's an XYZ monster, it's even better, because now they just lost all their materials. It's too much fun to not run. I only run the 2 because I tried running 3 and it didn't work out too well for me. 1 Yazi. Untargetable, can destroy itself and your opponent's monster, which opens up your board again. So, worth running, and that's the whole reason why I run Scrap Dragon as well, is it can clear itself and something else. So, 1-for-1's still decent, and once again, now you have an open field. Psy-frames love an open field. And then, run 3 Omegas. You want to get as many of these guys out as possible before you bring out your bigger monsters like Crystal Wing or Hot Red or anything. Because once you have 3 of these looping, your opponent's hand is constantly gone. You're getting multiple searches off of your trap. It's too good of a card not to run. I've been thinking about downing it to 2 because I usually don't bring out more, but when I did try doing that, I desperately wanted the 3rd one for a future play and I just didn't have it. So it's too helpful not to run. And then some of your bigger boss monsters. Crystal Wing, monster negates, attacks over pretty much anything. It's helpful. If you can run Crystal Wing, you pretty much want to run Crystal Wing. Scarlet, he's mainly in here as a stepping stone into Hot Red, but I have actually used his effect with Multi-Threader as well to bring out the tuners you need. You bring him out, use his effect to blow up their field of everything 3000 or less, do burn damage, and you ditch Multi-Threader to save your last tuner, and then you use the tuner to go into Hot Red. These are your 2 main boss monsters. Once these guys are on the field, these are the ones doing your main damage. And then the last one, Overmind, like I said, his main thing is in case you get Winter Cherried, and that's pretty much his only reason in here. You can't summon him in any other way besides Winter Cherries, so that's all you really got. And that's it for the extra deck. And once again, because I was lectured on the importance of side decks, here's mine. Run 3 Epsilon, because some decks have a lot of traps that they want to proactively use. It's not very often, but if you're facing against like, I don't know, Paleo Frogs, this card is a lot of fun because, hey, you still get your free Omega. Run the 1 extra driver and 1 extra multi-threader, because sometimes you're going against something and you're not seeing field spell enough, the extra driver, and if you need a little extra protection, multi-threader is always there. She is also a driver in grave or hand, so player preference. Next, I run 1 Winter Cherries and 2 Ghost Ogres. I'm going to be running 3 Winter Cherries due to the fact of, instead of these 2, because if you're going against another deck that is running Winter Cherries, more often than not, they're going to have more monsters than you, because Psy-frames don't like having monsters on their field. Ghost Ogre is good for the random pop, but at the same time, you want to protect your Omegas from other Winter Cherries, and if you banish their Omegas before they can banish yours, you don't have to worry about their Winter Cherries. So I'm going to be running 3 of these guys once my friend Todd here gets me my other 2 Winters. I also run 2 Honest, because this deck does have a problem with attacking over big monsters. Back when Kyle was running Chaos Max, I had a lot of trouble just getting over Chaos Max. So, and since all your major monsters are synchros, it can go insane. That in combo with E-Telly, you can just spec that out and attack. Okay, attack with it. Honest, you just killed something. You're doing damage. Hey, Honest is a good card. Next, 2 Quiet Life, 1 Pot of Desires. Once I get my 3rd Quiet Life, I'm going to take out Pot of Neg 9 because, once again, I hate this card so much. Quiet Life, when you're going against certain decks, I went against Cosmos the other day, played a Quiet Life. It shut them down because once you get Quiet Life paired up with the trap, every time they normal summon something in Cosmos, during the end phase of their turn, you just banish that, and now they're not getting anything they want to get out. So Quiet Life does work because you don't normal summon in this deck. Maybe you'll tribute summon if you're in a desperate need, but more often than not, you're not doing that. And then board clearance, Darkhold Raigeki. Darkhold doesn't hurt you. You usually don't have monsters on the board anyways. Raigeki, self-explanatory. anyways, that's all for the Psy-frame deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to give me a couple tips in the comments, go right ahead. I might listen to them if they actually don't mess up the deck all too much. I could definitely use side deck tips. But so far, this build has not let me down. It's pretty consistent, and even top decking with this deck, it doesn't hurt too much. I mean, you still don't want to be top decking, but there's enough draw in there to pretty much get you what you need. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day.